Let's talk a little bit about the mortgage deduction. So the mortgage deduction, property. This is the we're going to continue to have a mortgage deduction. It looks like, and under the current law, what we have is the first $1 million that you spend to purchase a home and borrow. The interest on that first $1 million is going to be deductible from your income tax as an itemized deduction. If you also get $100,000 of so-called home equity indebtedness, under those rules, you can borrow another $100,000 without it being used to purchase a home or remodel. It could be used to buy a car or whatever, as long as it's recorded against your home, like as in a home equity line of credit. That piece will also be deductible. Or you can just use the whole $1.1 million of mortgage indebtedness as a deduction. Doesn't have, and so that's the cap. And right now, of course, with homes at $2 million and $3 million, that's cutting a lot of people off. You get that $1 million, that's great. You get the interest on $1 million, but then the rest of it is not. So you need to beware as you're moving along that exists. Congress, at least the House of Representatives, is trying to reduce that $1 million down to $500,000, but that's not law yet, and the Senate is not going along with that at this time. The last piece that I want to comment on before I get into some mechanics is this right here. This little equation here. I'm going to write. If you know what your rent is, if you're a renter right now, and you divide that number by 1 minus, I'll put a little Greek letter here instead of it, so that it feels more scholarly. The tau there stands for your combined marginal tax rate. So it is the highest rate of the progressive rates that you're paying. So if, let's say, you're in the 25% bracket for federal purposes, and you also are in the 9% bracket for state purposes, congratulations, that's 0.34. Your tau there is 0.34. So if we take your rent and divide it by 1 minus, let's say we're that 0.34, well, why don't we just do it? Let's say we're paying $3,300 in rent, and our tau there is 0.34. So we're dividing by 0.66. So do we come up with a number like $5,000? So what does this $5,000 represent? This represents an expenditure that if you were able to take a tax deduction on this $5,000, it would be the equivalent of this $3,300. So I want you to think as you're making this step from going from a rental situation to a purchase situation with a mortgage, that you've picked up a little extra money because of the tax deduction. You've picked up a little bit of extra money here to be able to borrow and to be able to attain the home of your dreams. So just remember this little neat formula.